All right, guys. I guess you don't hear this one, right? Say Fubara don't go settle with Wike and Tinubu. They have finally come to their satanic agreement. So the way they look out, so allegedly, Fubara is set to return back as the governor of Rivers State. I wonder how my friend Mr. Alabo will feel for this one. After all the fight, the youth fight, some satanic elders that came out on different channels talking and all that, but now Fubara have decided to satanically succumb to satanism. It's very, 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 very sad that in this country, what these people are fighting for is not you and I. They are always fighting for themselves. I would like you to listen to this video from Arise.
Strong indications emerged last night that the subsisting emergency rule in Rivers State may be over soon, as President Bola Tinubu broke a truce among the key gladiators in the crisis that precipitated the proclamation of emergency rule. Pictures of the meeting between the president and the Rivers feuding characters had flooded the social media space without specific details of what transpired at the meeting, believed to have held at the residence of the president. In some of the pictures, the president was with the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and his estranged leader, who is also the FCT Minister, Wike. In other pictures, the president posed for a group picture with not only Governor Fubara and Minister Wike, but also with members of the State House of Assembly and some leaders in Rivers State, equally considered stakeholders.
With the governor, and the governor also agreed to work together with all of us who are members of the same political family. Yes, just like humans, you have a disagreement, and then you also have a time to also settle your disagreement, and that has been finally concluded today, and we have come to report to Mr. President that is what we have agreed. So for me, everything is over, and enjoy everybody who believe to work with us, to also work together with everybody. That there's no more acrimony, there's nothing to say we're disagreeing. We have all agreed on everything. So thank God. For me, it's a day we have to thank Almighty God.
For me, it's very important that this day has come to be. What we need for the progress of Rivers State is peace. And by the special grace of God this night, with the help of Mr. President and the agreement of the leaders of the states, including our leader, peace has returned in Rivers State. We'll do everything within our power to make sure that we sustain it this time around.
As regards Fubara and Wike, the truth is, they will always settle their fights. In the first place, the fight was about the resource of the states. Now, they've been able to untwist Fubara. It just shows that Fubara couldn't fight the hegemony, so he went on a wild goose chase. The same agreements that probably Fubara didn't want to agree before, maybe is what they agreed now. I don't have the empirical facts. I don't like to talk in the blind, but in the dark. But probably it's that same agreement. It will not be more than, yielding to your boss and all of that. You can see I think that's Amawule, the Speaker of the House, and the factions at which they fought. So all of them are singing Kumbaya today, and it's all over. For good measure, the question we ask Fubara is that, will you just now go ahead to join APC so that we just know that you have potted fully? Or, because I don't know or you still want to do this amorphous relationship that your boss, Wike, does, that is one leg in, one leg out. In the end, this was not about the Rivers people. So the delusion that they are trying to put forward and say, oh, this is about peace, it was not about the Rivers people. It's about both of them having an innate agreement. Things went south, and then Wike flexed his muscle. Obviously, in this, he came out winners because he had more might, and he has been able to set Fubara straight. And they are on the line on the part of this, their own private agreement. All of this, see, don't deceive yourself. Politicians, when they fight, it's never about you, the people. Forget it. Your prospects in life is just like one or two line items on the budget. For them, it's about themselves and their families and what they can build. So, are we going to say congratulations to people in Rivers? What congratulations? Because they still put a sole administrator there. Despite the things we talked about, the aberration of state of emergency, still went ahead. So why do we deceive ourselves so much in this country?
What's his name? Fubara meeting with Wike. Look, what Fubara has done is just to do an unconditional release unconditional surrender to exhibit his cowardice. I know that before now he had gone to London to see the president and all that. He's been busy begging. Okay, so what he has done is to cop out. All those people that I see there, I know many of them. I haven't seen anybody there that is Fubara's camp. It's, Nyesom Wike's camp dominating the meeting. So what it means is that Fubara has done an unconditional surrender. What are the details of that surrender? We would like to know. Has he now agreed that he will bow down, kowtow to the Godfather after the fashion of the Adelabu matter in Oyo State? Has he also kowtowed to the extent that whatever the Godfather says is what you will agree? We would like to know what the details are. And where does this leave all those youths saying, we are fighting for Ijaw nation, we are fighting for Fubara, and those stomach-driven elders who were coming on television to defend Fubara? Did you consult them before going there for this unconditional, for this surrender that he has done? However, everybody is driven by their stomach, what they will eat, whether Godfather or the Godson, and all that. So maybe we should just look for what will happen next. Maybe now they will reinstate Fubara and he will go back and be governor and he will be the one to control the budget, that the National Assembly, the Senate has passed in line with Section 11. And then, of course, there will be peace hereafter. This is all about character. This is all about the politics of Nigeria and the role of godfathers. This is all about, after all, this same Fubara told us that he doesn't need the position. What he has shown, what he has demonstrated, looks like serious desperation. Even if we applaud the fact that President Tinubu is acting as a father, as a peacemaker, and is trying to ensure that no part of Nigeria is disturbed. Where does he leave Ibokete Ibas, who is, enjoying the position? He's from your state. All these cross-river people trying to go and do long truth in River State. Okay, maybe the president will change his cabinet within the next month or so. He can always find something for him. He can always make him ambassador because he has shown that he's a man that can be used to pursue whatever agenda big men ask him to pursue. They will find something for him. But I look forward to what the outcomes of this, surrender by Simi Fubara is all about.
Okay.
I rest my case.
Dr. Abati, justice for cross-riverians. Justice for cross-riverians this morning. But let's stay on Rivers State. As Dr. Abati has already pointed out in great detail, what happens to the people on the ground? Because there was a lot of inflammation, animosity amongst the populace. So will this lead to some sort of healing? Will this lead to some sort of reunification? What happens to the people who were used as pawns in this political puzzle? However, it's clear that a compromise has been reached. The question is, what is the compromise? What is at stake? And what is the precedent that is being set for the potential of future instances of this nature? So in thinking about this, I said, let me go back to the December 18 8-point agreement, because of course we know this is not the first attempt at brokering a peace deal between these parties. The president intervened in that 8-point agreement of December 18. And I thought, let's go back to the points of that agreement and see how that can relate to today. Point number one had been to drop all legal proceedings, as at that time, they said all court cases needed to be brought to an end. Now, at the moment, we know that the contentious court case is that from the PDP governors who are heading to the Supreme Court because of the illegality of the state of emergency. The question is, will Sim Fubara be able to convince the PDP governors to drop that case? What will happen to that case? Does this mean that Sim Fubara will just cross the floor and become an APC governor and leave the PDP governors to their case and to their pursuit of trying to find some sort of judgment and legal context to what we all feel is an illegality? Well, that stands to be tested. But that's point number one. There are still legal issues on the ground. Number two was a stop to impeachment proceedings. Ultimately, it is clear that there is no way a deal would have been struck unless Sim Fubara was able to ensure and get guarantees that he will not be impeached. So it's clear, as we saw Martin Mamaule and members of that faction of the House of Assembly there at the party, at the meeting, excuse me, and it's clear that for now, they will not pursue impeachment. The third point had been the contention of the leadership of the State House of Assembly. Again, we saw Martin Ameole live and direct at this meeting, no sign of Edson Ehia or any other of the assembly members who had been loyal to Siminalaye Fubara. So it's clear that, again, something that they reneged on in the original agreement looks like it has been ironed out, even though it looks to have been done so in somewhat of a coercive way. Number four, the last issue was the issue of remunerations to those, to state workers. Looks like, I don't think that particular issue right now would pose such a bone of contention, because as we've seen, the governor is no longer in charge of the budget. And that takes me to the next issue, is the issue of the budget that was originally 800 billion naira belonging to Sim Fubara has been jacked up to 1.4 trillion. And the justification by the sole administrator was that he added an extra 15% to make it more people-centric. Which people is it centered around? However, that niggling issue, again, has been resolved through the caveat of the sole administrator. The issue of appointees and commissioners who, as of that point, they had felt that new commissioners and appointees needed to be appointed. Well, we already know that the sole administrator has created his own caretaker appointees. Will those appointees continue on when the governor comes back? Is this part of the deal that he has had to accept? Because for now, the body language doesn't look like it's likely that he will come in and sack these appointees and bring in his own people. Last but not least, of course, there was the issue of the caretaker committees with the local governments. Now, the local governments sore point and a sticking point. But now we see that Michael O'Day, a relative, if I may say that in loose terms, of the sole administrator, as they both hail from Cross River State, has been appointed the chairman of the Electoral Commission. So with local government elections likely to hold very soon, it looks like it's a no-brainer. So Siminalaye Fubara, unfortunately, looks set to be a lame duck governor who will serve at the behest of appointees chosen for him, local government chairmen who have been pre-selected for him as well, with a budget that he only has 85% knowledge of, but he is assured that he will not be impeached. Again, this is all just analysis. We wait for the final agreement.
It shocked me, and I believe it shocked you too. But what can you learn from this? Are we going to continue fighting ourselves over politicians and all that? You talk to my politician, you talk to my leader and all that. Fubara took his decision today, never put you or carry you along. Yes, but he took his decision based on selfish interest for his own self-benefits, Wike's benefit and Tinubu's benefit. What do I know? This is Nigeria Watch Media. Join us every day, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. Let's continue to talk about the things that's affecting us. Or rather affecting you and I, because we'll be talking about this tonight on our live broadcast. Take care, guys, and bye for now.